our viewers across the world and around North America. I want to welcome you to Platform Media Political Arena, PMI. My name is Joe Ehizoda. Welcome. And I have to introduce a very special guest tonight. And his name is Peter Njenga, and a Liberal candidate in the last election representing Abbotsford constituency.
That's correct.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe.
It's my pleasure bringing you to the program because the Platform Media is an outlet, a media that espouses the beliefs and the issues that affect the black community in British Columbia and as well as Canada.
Okay.
And there's no other person that will represent that interest than you. So I heartily welcome you to this program, sir.
Thank you.
Again.
Thank you.
You see, there's no better time to bring you to this program that what is going on around the globe. But let me tax you on the issues that affect the immigrant community in British Columbia. And I'm surprised, quite frankly, Mr. Peter Njenga, that the NDP took Liberal Party to tax yesterday. And I'm surprised that NDP is in the forefront espousing the ideas of the immigrant community. As a matter of fact, they taxed your leader, the Prime Minister of Canada, that the Prime Minister should go further defending the refugee claimants that Trump has refused in America. Is that correct?
Well, I think there is, I wouldn't agree with the NDP exactly because there is an issue of, Trump just came the other day and we have not seen exactly what is in his mind.
Okay.
But we are suggesting that we keep on waiting. But as it stands right now, I think the Liberal Party, based on what we have seen, especially in Syria, right? Yes. I don't think the Liberal Party, although I cannot talk with them, I'm not the Prime Minister, right? Yes. But I think the Liberal Party is going to tackle this issue very, very well. And I'm not defending them because I'm a liberal, but I can see, especially right now, there are people we saw over the television the other day running all the way, walking from US to Canada. Some of them lost their fingers. Yes. Did you see that in the television? And they were welcomed in Canada. If the government was very bad, right, they could have been told to go back. But honestly, they were allowed to come in. So I think Canada is a very welcoming country, and I think we are going to sympathize a lot with what is happening in US.
Well, somebody is trying to give me an idea, and I think some people are buying into that. That what United States is losing, Canada tends to gain.
That's correct, 100%.
If US is closing their doors, Canada is opening the doors to immigrants.
For example, you and me.
Yes.
When we came here in Canada, we came with a lot of resources, a lot of wealth in academics, in professions, and we have actually gained the country with a lot. So I don't think that, in my opinion, remember I'm not in the government.
Yes.
I was just running as an MP. Yeah. I did not succeed. I got 15,500 votes. Yeah. But I did not get, the former minister got the position. But what I believe is, with confidence, that Canada is a very welcoming country, and we sympathize with what is happening across the border.
Yeah. Some of us are very old enough to know that the Liberal Party has been the forefront, giving opening the doors for immigrants. But what took me aback is the ferocity of which the NDP was trying to push the Prime Minister. What is that politics?
Remember, politics is hot. Yeah, politics is politics, and when you taste the politics, you see how it is. When you get something weak, I'm not saying that they're 100% wrong or they're 100% right. All what there is the rule of relativity. Yes. You compare what is more and what is less. But I think given the situation the way it is right now in Canada, I believe Liberal Party, with immigration, is doing very well.
Yes.
And there is no way Canada is going to send people. Already, those people who have been denied back in Canada, in US, at the border, they was accepted with good hands. Remember?
Yes.
That's in the newspaper. So we are not just saying something which is not there.
Okay, let's go global.
Yeah.
Is this policy of isolationism that United States, led by President Trump, is espousing, given the current global trends, do you think isolationism is the best solution right now?
No, not at all. I think there is something greatly wrong with. I'm not American, but I'm talking from as a global citizen.
Yeah.
There is no way now we can bring separation between one country with the other, or putting borders that we cannot be able to communicate or do business. That is the wrong way. Take your cell phone right now and remove Nigeria, remove Kenya, remove US. You cannot just communicate with only your friends.
Yeah.
It's a global thing, and the group has become like a hand. Here, you can see everything, whatever is happening. There is no way all the countries in the world are up in arms, not fighting, but at least trying to say this should not happen. We should be together, working together in a common market, which is a global market.
Now, quickly, before we go on commercial break, we took just 30, half an hour drive from here. You get to the border, and there's particular statement on these pillars of the border between the United States and Canada, which I love so much. May this border not separate us.
That's correct.
And that's the belief.
And it should remain that
It
way.
should remain that.
Open.
Let this border not separate us.
It should not be. It was brought there by our forefathers, and they
the-
fought.
and pillars are being erected
do you
to
know?
separate us.
Do you know there was a war across there in the border, and they say no more war. Let us open the border. Let us move freely. But we got to have checks and balances. That's okay. But we should not prevent people from all over the world that they cannot go in a certain country, America first. I think that I give them respect for whatever they are saying, but from global perspective, there is something questionable.
Okay. We will talk about the African response to the immigrant crisis and to the ban on refugee after we come back. We're going on commercial break.
Okay, thank you.
And we'll be back.
Okay, thank you.
We'll be back shortly.
Thank you.
Feet First Services. At Home Foot Care Services, we provide medical pedicures, foot care, diabetic foot care, and fingernail trimming. Call us today, 1-800-234-9408 or 778-883-2381.
Welcome back. I'm still with Peter Njenga, the MP MP candidate of Liberal Party.
Not MP. I failed. I did not get the member.
MP candidate.
Yes, but
So,
yeah.
and it's a pleasure that as an immigrant from Africa, you gave that's kind of a lead to every one of us who are coming behind you, because you inspire people. That's the way of inspiring the young immigrants that in this country. But given to what we discussed shortly before we went on commercial break, I want to ask you, what should be the African response? I mean, African leaders, because wars are being created now. Brexit in the United Kingdom. No more immigrants by Trump in the United States. So the so-called big powers are beginning to say there should be wars. And these wars, we know who the wars are for. And if they don't mention it, but we know who the wars are for. What should be the African response in terms of governance?
I think it depends from one country to the other. One, I believe the United States, and basically those who are supporting the Western, the Trump way of thinking, is that they are going to lose a lot. Who are they going to lose to? Number one, China. Over Christmas, I went to Kenya to see my orphanage because I've got an orphanage in Kenya where I was born. I have established an orphanage with about 23 children with my wife. And we went there and we saw big highways and state of art. And they are all constructed by China. Whereas United States and other Western countries, they have kind of forgotten the Africa with a mass of resources. So what is going to happen in future, the way I see it, I could be wrong, is that Africa will be taken over seriously by China in expense of our country. Yeah, even Canada, we should be able to be investing heavily in Africa. We have got businessmen, we have got government projects which should be investing in Africa. But we have let it go. Now it is with China, and it's an economic cake which can come back and shared between the African nations and Americans.
Now you just mentioned something that is very, very that we should address. That even Canada should. The space that America is creating, there should not be any vacuum.
No.
Canada should fill
should
that.
get inside
Because
and
Africans
exploit.
are a whole bed of untapped resources.
Oh, there's a thing.
Human resources, mineral resources.
Take an example like I'm talking about Kenya because that's where I was born.
Yeah.
But the population of Kenya is more, and it's a small country, is more than the population of Canada. It is.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Can you imagine the immense kind of resources which is invested in human resources there?
Yeah.
And we can be able
Channel
to...
it down by here.
Yeah, not only coming, but they can channel, right?
Yeah.
The workforce in terms of outsourcing, in terms of exploitation of resources, name it. There's a lot of opportunities to do. And especially when we come to the green energy, the innovation, technology, that's where the Western, especially Americans, Canada, and US should go there and try to exploit the resources.
Let's leave the United States because Trump is preaching that they don't want
No, he should hear this because I'm not interfering with his country, but he should hear this, that he ought to consider every nation, every person as equals in playing the field in terms of developing the world.
Okay. Now, the one issue that you have not addressed, I say African response, and I'm talking about what should the leaders of Africa do in response to this position by President Trump.
Okay, now it depends. Some countries, right, and some sections are for Trump. For example, in Nigeria, there is one section, the section which is fighting the administration, actually supported Trump. It's there in BBC. I'm going to give you a paper here, which I was writing about. I was reading about BBC, right?
Yes.
You can read later. But you can see that the leader there was supporting Trump. However,
I must tell you, Mr. Judge, this is very self-serving. Because I know the history of this.
Yeah, listen.
Because they are playing to the gallery.
Yes.
Because they saw that Trump is just coming in.
Sure. No, I understand.
And they felt that this is. And these are so.
No, I understand.
Many people of them, many of them were in minority.
I understand.
But what I'm trying to say.
The actual leaders.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with. I will start with South Africa.
Yeah.
South Africa is not somebody to just play football with. He is an economic power in itself. So they are able to not to be dictated exactly what they do. They should come together to compromise how to develop their countries, both the South Africa and also in America. Right? That's one thing. But already the leader there has already said that. Right? If we come to places like Uganda, where they have been relying heavily on the investment and donations from United States, they should think twice and they should come again and try to renegotiate. Otherwise, do you know what Trump will say?
No.
Remember, I think it was said there in the BBC, you are fired.
Yeah. So they are fired.
If there is nothing for him to gain, right, he'll say you're fired. But I'm not saying that he is, whatever he does.
Yeah.
But the issue is the African leaders themselves, starting from south going to north, they should be careful. And they should know that they can as well. And I don't think that they cannot self-sustain. They can as well self-sustain.
And what I think about good governance.
That's the issue. The good governance, we should consider, especially the corruption in Africa.
Exactly.
That should be something we should be for, not only by Americans or Canadians or West, but we ourselves, especially the people who have come here, should send a message. And also the national inside the countries should fight corruption, because corruption cannot make the country develop. So the issue is about good administration, resource application, resource utilization and applications, and new technology,
And
new energy development.
Do you agree with me? And
By the way,
that some people do ask that if we have good governance, we remove the corruption in the system in Africa, Africa have the tendency to lead the world.
Oh, sure. Why not? Why not? See what was happening in China before, right? I'm not saying they are good.
Yeah.
But there's something nice in China because they are able now to come from down and now they are coming up to be a superpower. India as well.
And
I'm not saying.
And they take the fight against corruption seriously.
Yeah, but we got to fight against corruption because I was there and I saw
the
it.
resources,
Yes.
which everybody knows,
Yes.
the resources that are being taken away from Africa, if it's invested in Africa,
Reinvested
reinvested
in Africa.
I don't think the immigrant crisis will be an issue anymore.
No. But the war, remember the corruption management, leadership.
Yes.
The combination of the two, management and leadership, makes everything happen.
I can't thank you enough, Mr. Njenga.
Okay, thank you.
And that's Mr. Peter Njenga, a chartered accountant and also an author based in British Columbia. He was, remember, that gave inspiration to black people in Lower Mainland. He contested for a position in Parliament in the last election. And I believe that the last have not been heard from you in politics.
No, it's going on.
It's going on. So
Yeah,
we'll be here because PMI is the platform for and voice to the black community in Canada.
Thank you.
So I want to thank you for coming to this program.
Thank you.
I want to say that this is the beginning of a relationship. We'll bring you back again.
Oh, thank
there are
you.
many issues to be talked about.
And if there is something that we can help, or my organization or my companies can help, please let us know.
That's very promising.
Okay,
sir.
thank you.
And I want to thank you. And for viewers, keep clicking on the subscription tab so that PMI, we're going places. We need more of you. Keep watching. And for all our subscribers, we want to ask you to call the telephone line on the back lower part of your screen, and so that we can do business together. I'm yours sincerely, Joe Ehizode, presenting. And I want to thank Mr. Peter Njenga for coming to the program again.
Thank you so much. Thank you, listeners.
A good night rest.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.